Welcome. I'm sorry it was such a difficult trip. But you're here. Hi. Nice to see you again. Hi. Nice to meet you. Hi.
I'm very glad to see you.
People in California to nominate, give us the name of a California-based photographer who's currently working.
Great.
The work does not have to be made in California, but it's a nice overview of contemporary work in California. And I think this particular publication was really very well done.
Great.
So there's definitely one for each of you.
Know some your opinion to show you when I show you some print.
Okay. I'm very happy to look at print, and we can do it either way. I wanted to give you a moment to relax from your trip.
Okay.
We can look at work now, or we could walk around the museum and then come back and look at work. What would you like to do?
This museum is Fuji Museum, located in Hachioji, near Tokyo.
Okay.
I know the executive director.
Oh,
Very
right.
wonderful.
So we actually have quite a few publications, and these are a recent gift on humor. So this is from cooking, where you wrap the leg of lamb, and he has ones with aluminum foil hats or different things like that. So it looks very important, but there's always a little bit of a humor.
Great.
So we just opened, the shows I'll take you to see downstairs, we just opened on last Saturday, a week ago. And because we just finished, this had all little pictures all the way around. It had the little furniture. It had the walls where they were placed. Because we change every time. But they finished and then because we have to get ready for the next. And printed later one, very big, and these are vintage. So you're getting to see a really different look at his work, and we'll be doing a book. So these are our gallery spaces, and what we rooftops or through windows and a different angle. And again, the same with Rodchenko. A lot of the angles, he was very experimental. You've got the painter Mondrian and Martha Graham. So anyway, so this is a variety of work, and so that's Through the Looking Glass and Aspirations. This is a really interesting one. Well, good size. 226 seats. We do a lot of film programs, especially with partners, and Italian Film Festival. Let's put these back. Well, they're very beautiful, and I remember his earlier work. I like the steps. I like this new direction. I think it's, how do I want to say? It's very thoughtful, it's very beautiful, and in some ways more quiet than his earlier work. Does that make sense?
That's right.
Okay. You get to tell him. But this is beautiful. And it's a nice paper. Okay. And then what size are these meant to be?
14, 11.
So I see more of a haiku. If I break it up this way into 3 lines, visual haiku. And it is about kind of the mystery of the cosmos, mystery of space, and then coming down to the planet, you know, that is more, there's a more alien, more mysterious.
I see.
And I think these are really, really powerful. And I really like these a lot because I don't have the specific reference to, this one makes me want to think of satellites and communication. This one takes me right to the Zen garden. And this makes it more universal.
I see.
Reality. These bring me back. It's like, oh yeah, I can see the garden. Oh yeah, this has been added. And oh yeah, there's a light in the middle of the garden. You don't want that. You want the mystery. You want the mystery of the cosmos with this. You want the mystery of origin with this. So like these are more, yeah, so that's a great, you've been holding out on me. Yeah, a lot of good pairings, I think. So yeah, so you can begin to see how you're telling a story, and it becomes so in a way, I like the more mysterious.
I like this.
You know, this one becomes, I try to start thinking, okay, where's this landscape? Whereas these, it could be anywhere in the universe. And that's really, really quite wonderful. Can be as important as the image. Okay, you understand?
Yeah.
Wakarimasu ka?
Hi.
And so it's something to think about. That's part of your control. As the artist, making each image is, yes, you're doing that, but then how you show them and how you move people through it,
I see.
you can control that.
Story.
Yes. And so it's really about wanting them to pause, because look what happens if you just suddenly put them all together. Look how different that is. You know, and they're still beautiful pictures, but look what happens when you make people pause and take a breath and then go into the next and then take a breath
Yes, I see.
and go into the next.
Please.
Like making music, you know, it's like that pacing. And you have that, you can control that visually by how you group, how you lay out work. So,
Actually, even this cherry blossom especially, it's 1,000 years old, and just 35 miles from nuclear power. But many people coming.
sign of mankind,
Okay.
of humankind.
Okay.
But again, this one could be maybe by itself. To the line that you have in these. And I really like the visual rhythm that happens as you go across, and look at those. These are a little stronger, you know, a little more loud, powerful. And so the subtlety that's happening there, the beauty in the branches here, and you know, all of that is really, I think, really works well together. If we look at these, there's more white. It really, are you still working more in color, or do you prefer black and white?
白黒でいるんですか？これカラーでこれからいるんですか？
It's about design.
デザインのそれが一番いいって。
And it's and again I can make a connection more to the black and white
こんな
as
に
well.
数字のものがある。
Yes, because this is a start of this work.
Okay. And where does this fit? Is this more recent or because this is different?
Yeah.
This one is really different. I think the ambrotype works really well. I think you need to think about, I think it needs to be in maybe a case, not a mat like this, like a, either a leather or wood or something. But what I like about it is these trees are old. And the ambrotype within the history of photography is an old process, but within the history of these, it's a very modern process. You know, when you have an ancient tree that might be 1,000, 3,000 years old,
Yes, very old.
ambrotype is modern, you know. And the fact that it takes you, it's not always recognizable for the viewer, and so it takes you out of today, it takes you out of time, and I think it makes a much more powerful kind of statement about the work. So I think it works really well. The other thing to remember is, and again, if you were doing inkjet, would it be this size or would they be big? If you take out this, these monumental efforts, let's move that one away. To keep the sea out. Bring a bigger book and you had an essay and you wanted to put that one in.
My explanation.
Yeah, but remember, when the work is good and strong, you know, the story should come from the pictures. And that's what happens here. These are all incredibly, a lot of effort. And again, this one becomes more of, as if you're telling a
Explanation.
photojournalist, you know, telling the story. This becomes more abstracted story. And I think